Welcome to Small Talk Daily for Monday, April 6th, 2009. This morning we're going to go through a little bit of customization of the display aspects of our simple application. What we're going to do is go here and remind ourselves what we've got. So let's go into our Notes application and we'll go to Browse, Notes.html. A couple of things we'd like to repair. Over here we've got description listed first, created, and title. We probably want title first, and on this list view we probably don't want description at all. Finally, here in created, we probably don't want the full timestamp, we just like the day, because if we're looking at this kind of note-taking, we don't really care about when in a particular day things were created at this level. So to customize this, let's go back to the source code, and a couple of things. First, we're going to go to class note. This is our actual domain object, and if you go to the visibility and scroll up here to active record, one thing you'll find down here in the class methods is this method called variable names, and you see that by default it's going to pull all the instance variables and it's going to pull them in whatever order they happen to be defined in the class, which is not really how we want to display it. So I'm going to create and override my subclass, and this doesn't override it here in this visibility level, it overrides it in my subclass. So I'm going to go variable names, and I'm going to put them in the order that I'd like them to display. So I'm going to put title, and then I'm going to put created, and then finally I'm going to put description. So that'll tell me which ones to fetch from the database, and more importantly, in which order to fetch them and display them. So let's go over here now to Browse, and we'll go to Notes.html, and you see that I've reversed this ordering here, and that was a pretty easy change to make. Now it turns out that I don't really want to render a description in this view at all, and it turns out that's pretty simple too. So if I go back here, and I go to my class Notes List UI. Now it turns out in our list class, if you want to omit something, all you really need to do is add a method, and the method's pattern name is should render and then whatever it is. So let's call something here with the right capitalization, should render description, and what this is going to do is answer whether I should render this particular field or not. Now by default, it's going to look for the method. If it doesn't exist, it's going to assume true. If it does exist, it's going to do whatever you tell it. So here I'm going to tell it, no, I don't want this. So now if I go to Browse and I go to Notes.html, you'll see my description fell off this completely because I told it, no, I don't want that. So let's go back over here. And there's one other thing I want to do in this view. I want to have my timestamp, instead of bringing back the entire timestamp, I want it to just bring back that particular day, not the entire thing. And it turns out you can customize this too. So I'm going to go into rendering, and I'm going to add a new method. And this also follows the same kind of pattern for customizing the rendering of any field. I can add a method called render object, and then here the name of the object in camel case. So the name of this one is created. HTML. So that's the pattern these methods have to take. Render object and then the name of the object, and you pass in the object as an argument, preferably spelling it something like that. And then I come down here and I add my text. So HTML text, and now I can customize how I want it to display. So an object as date print string, and now that will customize the way that shows up. So let's go up here to Browse, Notes.html. And now you'll see that all I get here are the dates instead of the full timestamps. So I don't get absolutely everything, I get just what I want. So that's pretty much all you really need to know about how to customize various things. You follow some simple patterns. If you want to tell it how to render a particular field, create a method following this pattern, and that's in the list view. You can do the same kinds of things over in the edit view, and you can customize things at that level as well. So you can come down here into the note class and tell it what to bring back. So this is your domain object. If you want to tell it what order to bring things back in, you do this and change the variable name. So you can tell it, do fetch these, don't fetch these other ones, just customize this listing here, and you'll get that kind of view and that kind of fetching. So we'll leave it there for today, and tomorrow we'll go into Ajaxifying all of our views so that we don't do full page fetches and returns on every single thing. So we'll leave it there. Until next time, have fun with Small Talk.